What is up, you guys? Dr. William Match here, bringing you some more Crystalline. Let's get started, shall we? A knock on my door jolts me awake. I sit straight up in the bed and barely notice a tiny yelp as the pongo tumbles to the floor. Hello? The knock stops.
It's Leanna. Are you about ready?
I rub my eyes and blink at the feeble rays of light outside. This music might be a little too loud. That was weird. That might be good. I don't know. What time is it?
It's past dawn. We need to get a move on if we want to make a good time.
Dawn? There's no good reason anyone should be awake at this hour. I attempt to lay back down in my bed when the knocking starts again. Alright. I'll be there in a minute. The noise stops, I yawn, head stretched, then notice the pongo on the floor. What are you doing on the floor, buddy? Aren't you sleeping on the bed? The pongo wiggles and shoots me an accusatory look.
Poi.
I glance at the slight indentation on my pillow and back at the blue mass on the floor. Sorry, I didn't mean to knock you off. He looks cautiously at me, then hops onto the bed and up onto my head.
Poi.
He nips at my hair and then jiggles. I guess that means he's forgiven me. I push myself to my feet and begin getting dressed. Once I've grabbed all of my things, I push open the door and nearly collide with Leanna. Whoa.
Are you ready to go?
Yeah. Leanna nods, then leads the way out of the inn. I follow her through the town as we head north. It's a lot quieter than when we first arrived, as the town gradually begins to wake up. We don't run into many people on the street, although the shops aren't open yet. I can see the shopkeepers busy prepping for the day. Right before we reach the edge of town, a guard stops us.
There's been heightened bandit activity reported on these roads.
Leanna's brows crease.
Are the roads closed?
No, but until we get a handle on the bandit activity, we're advising everyone to stay in town.
We can't stay.
Where are you headed?
We're headed to Illumia.
The guard notices the sigil on Leanna's manipulator.
You're a mage knight?
She nods. As the guard turns his focus to me, I draw attention to the blade on my hip. He nods gruffly, then moves out of the way.
Just be careful out there.
Thank you.
She motions for me to follow. Once we're back on the familiar dirt path, I take one last look at Meadow Hill Village before refocusing on the road ahead of me. Our trek along the path is peaceful. The forest gradually awakens with birdsong and the scuttling of woodland animals. Having grown up in the city, the sound of nature still startles me, and I glance at every rustle of the leaves. Leanna, though, seems unfazed. Her eyes routinely survey her surroundings. Suddenly, she freezes. I nearly bump into her. What the?
Shh.
I fall silent as she listens. When she speaks, her voice is a whisper.
Did you hear that?
I didn't hear a damn thing. I strain my ears, listening for anything out of place. Then I hear the voices among the trees. Bandits? A strangled scream pierces the air, scaring a flock of birds into flight.
Someone might be in danger.
Her previous caution abandoned, Leanna sprints towards the sound and I follow at her heels. We both take cover as the trees open up, revealing a man in a trench coat surrounded by 5 bandits. One more bandit lays motionless on the ground. A Upon seeing their fallen comrade, the bandits all unsheath their weapons. 3 of them hold long swords and 2 of them point guns. The trench-coated man doesn't stir. His dark hair falls over his eyes, and I can see his face.
He won't get away from us this time. Take him out.
The man pushes open his coat and draws 2 guns as the bandits converge. Leanna sets her jaw.
Stay here!
As soon as the words fall from her lips, she races out from the trees. Her hair whips behind her, and her white coattails below in a graceful arc. Sounded weird. She moves faster than any human, as if... Hair. As if the air is pushing her forward instead of dragging her down. Her gauntlet hand clenches and a blue sphere glows, then disappears as she smashes her fist into the nearest bandit. He flies away from her and crashes against a tree before crumpling into a heap.
A mage knight?
She must be with him.
Or she's after the bounty. Take her out too!
The mysterious man fires a hail of purple blasts at the bandits, catching one of them in the chest. Leanna deflects the sword from another bandit with her own blade. I can't just sit here and do nothing, I have to help. Ignoring Leanna's command, I unsheath my sword and charge into battle. Here we go. Leanna breathes heavily as she surveys the bodies around her. She glances at me and the stranger who's still standing.
Anyone hurt?
I do a gentle pat down of myself and wince at my bruises. Nothing major. Leanna nods, then she fidgets with her manipulator. The man stays silent as he inspects his guns. Now that I have a better look at him, I realize that although his fierce scowl makes him seem tough, he doesn't look that much older than me. His hair has a habit of falling around his eyes, but as he pushes it back, I notice a long scar cut across one eye. Once satisfied, he tucks his gun back into his belt and gets to his feet. He nods at us.
Thanks.
Then he turns away.
Wait!
He pauses.
Where are you headed?
Why?
There might be more bandits around. We should team up if we're going in the same direction. Safety in numbers.
He studies us in stony silence, then his gaze flicks to her manipulator, and he relaxes slightly.
Where are you going?
We're headed to Illumia.
Me too.
Leanna nods.
You're from the Mage Guild?
Yes, I'm Leanna.
I'm William.
Zach.
Boy.
All of us glance at the little blue Pongo who seemingly popped out of nowhere. And, this is our little friend.
I see.
Boy!
The Pongo blinks at Zach, who stares him down. The Pongo bounces uncertainly.
Boy?
Zach's unblinking stare never wavers, so the Pongo scoots behind my leg for safety.
Now that introductions are over, let's get moving.
Zach waits for us to collect our things, and once we're all set, we head back onto the road. Leanna and I lead the way. The Pongo keeps pace with us, while Zach hangs a few steps behind us. Well, Zach knew just by looking at her gauntlet. She has a sigil, so that's a stupid question. Zach's dischargers, I'm assuming they're more like a pistol. Like a normal pistol that shoots just plasma blasts, something like that. And Leanna's speed, we've seen her use magic before, so we already know that too, so I have nothing to say. Neither Leanna nor Zach seem particularly chatty. Well, it looks like that guard was telling the truth. There definitely are bandits on this road.
Yeah.
There's something in her voice which makes me think she doesn't completely agree. What is it?
It's just, well, for bandits, they were pretty well equipped.
She stares hard at Zack, but he doesn't react. What does that mean? Are they not bandits? Leanna continues to look at Zack.
I'm not sure.
They were bandits.
She looks sharply at Zack, obviously caught off guard.
Sure.
That didn't sound too convincing. The subject drops, but I still feel a little uneasy. If those guys weren't bandits, then who were they? And why were they attacking Zack? The questions circle my mind as the conversation lulls to silence. Leanna leads the way, though she seems to have something on her mind. Zack trails from behind. He remains on heightened alert. We travel together for quite some time with no further interruptions. I can feel my legs start to burn from all the walking. Sounds like there's a lot of walking going on anyway. Leanna squints at the sky.
We should make camp before it gets dark.
Zack nods.
There's a good spot up ahead which hides us from view. It'll still give us visibility on any intruders, though.
Sounds good. Zack leads the way, and soon we reach the clearing. The three of us get to work setting up camp. I roll out my bedroll near the campfire and notice how thinly it spreads on the ground. Can this thing really keep me comfortable? I guess there's only one way to find out. I lie down on the bedroll and place my hands behind my head. This isn't as bad as I thought. A yawn escapes my lips. I could definitely fall asleep here. My gaze lingers on the night sky above. The moon hangs in the inky sky, dotted with so many pinpricks of silver light. They sparkle vividly, as if trying to chase away the dark. I breathe out a breath of wonder. I never knew that stars could shine so brightly. I try to pick out a few constellations, but the star patterns above are unfamiliar.
What are you looking at?
I quickly sit up at the sound of Leanna's voice. She holds 2 steaming bowls in her hand. I accept one of the bowls with a smile as she sits beside me. Just admiring the sky. This place is really beautiful. Back where I live, you don't get a chance to see so many stars.
How come?
Light pollution. Our cities are filled with so much light that it drowns out the stars. Leanna gazes thoughtfully at the sky.
Right. It's a little harder to see the stars in town than it is out here.
I shake my head. That's not the same. Some nights, I don't see the stars at all. Her eyes widen in surprise. Then she places her chin on her hands. Yeah, I was right.
A night sky without stars.
She looks at me.
What's your world like?
So far, it seems the same. It's different, but the same. I mean, our world don't have magic. It seems like we have more technology, but yeah, it seems the same. It's kind of like here, but kind of different. She stares at me, waiting for me to elaborate. We don't use crystals or have magic, and we definitely don't have pongos. I glance at the pongo snoozing beside me. Leanna smiles at his soft snores. But we do have forests and towns. We speak languages and have our own versions of academies and shops and guilds. We also have weapons and martial arts.
Like Kendo.
Yep.
That sounds like it'd be an interesting place to visit. I wonder what it's like to live in a world with no crystals.
Boring. Really, really boring. She tilts her head back and returns her gaze to the sky. Underneath the moonlight, her pale skin seems to glow amidst the darkness. Her face softens as she smiles.
You're right. The stars really are beautiful.
We fall into a comfortable silence as we enjoy the tranquility of the night. After we finish eating and cleaning up, Zach approaches us.
It's getting late.
Leanna nods.
I'll take first watch so you can rest.
All right. I'll take second watch.
I guess that just leaves me with third. Zach stares unblinkingly at me while Leanna coughs nervously.
That's okay. We had an early start, and I'm sure you're tired. We should rest up and sleep through the night.
It almost sounds like you guys don't trust me. Although I try to keep my tone light and joking, Leanna looks guilty.
No! That's not... I mean, it's not that we don't trust...
Yes.
She looks sharply at Zach. His arms are crossed, but his expression doesn't change. Seriously? Zach nods towards Leanna.
She's part of the Mage Guild, so I know she won't pull any tricks. I don't know anything about you.
I'm sorry.
As the fire in my mind abates. Okay, yeah, I said that right. I realize Zach has a point. I've given him no reason to trust me. If I were in his shoes, I'd be just as cautious. I nod. Alright, I suppose that's fair.
I better get to sleep then. Good night.
Good night. Leanna flashes me one last smile before crawling into her bed. As she lies down, Zach positions himself against a tree and takes a seat. It's good to know him. Give him a reason to trust me. If we're going to be traveling together, I should make an effort to get to know what kind of person he is. I walk over to Zach. Hey. Mind if I sit? He gestures for me to join him, so I do. Obviously, I have to lead the conversation. So, how's the weather? That's stupid. Zach stares at me. Alright, let's switch gears. Are you a cat or dog person?
Is this going anywhere?
I sigh. I'm trying to build up some trust here, but you've got to meet me halfway. Zach looks away. Great. I guess he doesn't want to talk.
Dog.
What?
I prefer canines.
Oh, cool. The silence creeps in again. So, we're all going to Illumia.
Yep.
What brings you there?
I'm meeting someone.
Oh, a friend?
Someone from work.
What do you do?
I'm a mercenary.
It all makes sense now.
What does?
Everything about you, the angst, the hard-boiled exterior, the frequent cold shoulder. You're totally the brooding main character from one of my JRPGs.
What are you talking about?
He stares at me and I smirk. That's exactly how one of the MCs would react.
So, why are you going to Illumia?
Leanne has taken me to the Mage Academy. He studies me again.
Are you a mage? You don't have a manipulator.
I shake my head. No, I'm looking for answers. He nods in understanding and doesn't pry. Although I try to stop it, a yawn escapes.
You should get some sleep. We have an early start in the morning.
That sounds familiar. I push myself to standing. Good night. He nods. I lie down in my bedroll and scooch around to get comfortable. I try to close my eyes to sleep, but something still doesn't feel right. Oh yeah, I need a pillow. Sitting up, I look around for anything I can use. My gaze falls on the Pongo, who now rests beside Leanna. Pongo pillow. I'll just make do. I'm not gonna do that to him. The little Pongo rolls over in his sleep. I don't want to disturb him. Plus, that would be pretty rude. I don't find anything else suitable and decide to just make do without one. Lying back down on the bed, I close my eyes and eventually drift to sleep. A dull throbbing in my back pulls me awake. I hadn't fully appreciated the magic of mattresses until now. A yawn escapes and I stretch widely. Aside from the achiness, I actually feel well rested. I sit up and glance around. Zach leans against a tree with his head down. His hair covers his eyes, so I can't tell if they're open or closed. Regardless, his hands rest on the handles of his dischargers. Creepy. Looking around again, I failed to spot Leanna. Where'd she go? I think I heard a cry in the distance. Is that her? I should go investigate. Crossing over a hill, I see Leanna practicing in an open field. She grips her blade in a fighting stance, her face stern with concentration.
Ha!
She swings her blade in a high arc, ending with a graceful spin. Judging by how fluid and accurate her movement is, it's clear she's dedicated many years to perfecting her craft. Her hair whips around her as she turns, but never seems to blow in her face. Even with heavy armor, her movements are still nimble, as if she's wearing no armor at all. I wonder if all of that has to do with her wind magic. Once she's noticed me, she lowers her sword.
Oh, sorry. Did I wake you? I moved out here so I wouldn't disturb you.
No, I was already up. I didn't see you at the camp, so I came looking.
Gotcha. Boy!
Glancing down at my feet, I spot the beaming Pongo. Leanna giggles.
Looks like you guys are best friends already.
Of course. The best of friends, isn't that right? The Pongo nods excitedly.
Boy!
It's pretty early. Do you always begin your mornings with a warm-up? Leanna nods.
It helps me wake up and prepare for the day ahead. Also, it's become a part of my routine, so it just doesn't feel right when I don't do it.
I know what you mean. I can't really go through my morning routine from Earth here on Terra, and it feels a bit strange.
Right.
Leanna looks down. The awkwardness creeps into the silence, so... Wait, she probably took that in a negative way, which wasn't my intention. That's okay, though. I can always make a new routine.
New routine?
I unsheath my blade and grip it. This morning practice you do seems like a good place to start. She grins.
Considering how well you handled yourself yesterday, I'm curious to see what's the extent of your skill set.
I smirk. Only one way to find out. So, what's the lesson today, Senpai?
Sand pie?
I shake my head. Never mind. She blinks, then refocuses and matches my fighting stance by raising her sword.
Since you already have some experience with the blade, sparring will be the best way to gauge your skills.
I'm ready. Ready when you are.
Here I come!
Leanna dashes towards me. Her movements seem slower than what they were during the bandit fight. It seems like she isn't using her wind magic. Somehow I managed to keep pace with her. Every time I think I'm about to get the upper hand, her intensity increases until we're equally matched again. Even so, I could feel her holding back without using magic. Mage Knights are still a formidable opponent with the sword, especially if they're anything like Leanna. We go back and forth with a few more swings until Leanna strikes from above. I hurriedly block with my sword, but I lose my balance in my hurry and topple to the ground, landing on my back. Ooh. Leanna kneels down beside me.
Your fundamentals are solid. If you keep practicing, I'm sure you'll be a formidable warrior in no time.
That's pretty high praise when it's coming from you. She smiles and blushes. Leanna extends her hand and helps me back to my feet.
It would be better if I could watch you spar with someone else. That way, I can see your movement from different angles and give you better feedback.
Unless the Pongo can use a sword, the only other option is Zack. I look around and spot Zack leaning against a tree closer to our sparring location. He watches us with arms crossed. Wait, how long has he been there? Leanna rushes over to him.
Zack!
Hmm?
Would you be willing to duel with him?
She points to me.
I'd like to get a better look at his technique.
He merely stares at her.
Oh, right. You need a blade.
Leanna hands her blade to Zack. He takes it from her and inspects it.
What are the rules of the duel?
Standard spar. Be the first one to knock your...
Whoopsie daisy. Be the first one to knock your opponent to the ground. Zack nods and heads towards the field. As Leanna returns to me, we share a glance that was surprisingly easy. I guess it's not in a mercenary's nature to back down from a fight, even if it's a fake one.
Are you two ready?
I step a decent distance away from Zack and ready my blade. Yep. Zack continues to stand there. I look at Leanna again and she just shrugs. He nods.
Okay, begin!
I rush forward. And suddenly I'm on the ground, staring up at the sky with an aching pain in my chest. And the wind knocked out of me. I groan.
Strange. I thought he'd last at least 2 shots.
That son of a bitch.
Zack!
What?
Why did you use your discharger?
Why not?
Leanna steps forward.
The whole point was to have a sword match with him.
You didn't list that as a rule.
Her frustration is evident in her voice.
Why else would I give you my sword?
Why did you give me your sword?
For you to use!
She snatches her blade back from Zack and heads over to me.
Are you hurt?
So this is what it feels like to be emasculated twice. My gaze drifts past Leanna to the blue sky behind her. At least the view is nice. Leanna helps me up again.
The one and only lesson you need to know when fighting. Do whatever it takes to win.
As soon as he's done speaking, Zack turns around and heads back to the campsite. That sounds just like what the angst badass MC of a JRPG would say. My suspicions were correct all along. Leanna huffs.
Mercenaries can be so annoying sometimes.
Mercenaries take on all sorts of jobs, including some really unsavory types. That's probably influences their battle ethics and code for survival to be more brutal than others. Leanna ponders my words.
That's true.
Alright guys, I'm going to end it here. Hope you guys have enjoyed. Please leave a like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.